Hi guys! Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I think it is safe to say that Dr. Umar is not going to vote for Kamala Harris. Let's hear what he has to say. Please watch the whole thing because it's pretty interesting. Let me know if you agree or disagree with him. As for myself, do I agree with everything he has to say? Everything? Probably not, but a good 90% of it. So let's watch.
Let's deal with the contradictions. First of all, I want to deal with this Drake Kamala Harris contradiction. Contradiction. What do I mean by the Drake Kamala Harris contradiction? I don't know my brother Drake. I don't know if he has denied his Africanity. I don't know if he disidentifies from his Africanity. I don't know. Word on the street is he does not identify as an African. Allegedly, allegedly, he does not identify as an African. Here's my question to all the American African Democratic Party plantation slaves. How can you have a problem with Drake not claiming to be African, but you out here raising money and caping for Kamala Harris, who also is only black when it is convenient? I want to expose the contradictions tonight. Kamala Harris is going to bring back diversity, equity, and inclusion. But guess what? You will still be excluded because you don't understand how diversity, equity, and inclusion goes. She's going to include the East Indians, her family and race. Kamala Harris is going to take care of the East Indians, her family and race. Kamala Harris is an East Indian presidential candidate. She's going to take care of the East Indians. She's going to take care of the Asians, the Chinese. She's going to take care of the Latinos, the Native Americans, the immigrants, the rainbow gangers, the feminists. Guess who's going to be left out? Guess who's going to be left out of diversity, equity, and inclusion? Guess who's going to be left out? The black folks. She's going to have one token Negro on her presidential cabinet. She's going to have one token Negro who's probably going to be mixed race. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. She's going to have a token Negro. Everybody else is going to be people of color, but only one black person. In other words, you will be a minority amongst the minorities. Guess what? We're going to get more migrant crises under Kamala Harris. How much y'all want to bet? How much y'all want to bet? There's going to be a crisis in India. Who wants to bet me some money right now? Who wants to bet me some money right now? There's going to be a crisis in East India, and Kamala Harris is going to bring 1 million East Indians to America to purge out the black cities. Y'all don't hear me though. Y'all don't hear me though. Y'all don't hear me though. You have a white man running against an East Indian woman. You have a Caucasian racist running against an East Indian racist. That's what you have. That's what you have. Now, some of y'all say, wait a minute, Dr. Umar. Wait a minute, Dr. Umar. I thought you said mixed race Africans are African. Yes, but they must be biologically and psychologically African. Let's look at Kamala Harris's ancestry. Her father is mixed race, Jamaican African, and East Indian. The mixed race East Indian, Jamaican consider themselves better than the everyday Jamaican. That's who Kamala Harris's father was. That's who Kamala Harris's father is. He was a mixed race, East Indian, Jamaican African. He was a mixed race, East Indian, Jamaican African who thought he was better than regular Jamaicans. He raised his daughter to think she was better than regular Jamaicans because if Kamala Harris really considered herself a Jamaican African, if Kamala Harris really considered herself a Jamaican African, if Kamala Harris really considered herself a Jamaican African, why don't we hear her pushing the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey? Why don't we hear her pushing Sam Sharp and Paul Bogle and Bob Marley? So if you black people want to keep calling her that, so she has a black grandparent. So she's a quadroon. She has a black grandparent. That makes you a quadroon. If you have one black grandparent, you are a quadroon. If you have one black great-grandparent, you are an octoroon. She's not an octoroon because she has a black grandparent. She's a quadroon. Now, I don't automatically dismiss quadroons from being African. I do not automatically dismiss quadroons from being African. I don't automatically dismiss quadroons from being African, like an Amber Rose, if you would. But I'm dismissing Kamala Harris from being African, although she's a quadroon, because I've never seen Kamala Harris proudly proclaim her African ancestry. Remember, according to the Pan-African movement, you have to be biologically black and psychologically black. Is Kamala Harris biologically black? Yes, she's a quadroon. Is she psychologically black? Hell no. She wasn't raised by her mother to be African, and she wasn't raised by her mixed race East Indian father to be African. So Kamala Harris passes the biologically African test. She does not pass the psychologically African test. Amber Rose, I have to see if my good sister Amber Rose will pass the psychologically African test. Does my brother Drake pass the psychologically African test? I'm not so sure Barack Obama passed the psychologically African test, but y'all made him African anyway by hypocritical, contradictory Democratic Party plantations. We made Barack Obama black. We made Barack Obama wasn't psychologically black. He was biologically black, but he wasn't psychologically black. And now y'all want to make Kamala Harris. If y'all going to make Kamala Harris psychologically black, then you have to make Amber Rose psychologically black, and you have to make Drake psychologically black. You cannot cancel Amber and Drake unless you're going to cancel Kamala. I'm going to say it again. There will be no contradictions. There will be no contradictions. If you are not going to give Amber Rose a pass, and if you are not going to give Drake a pass, you cannot give Kamala Harris a pass.
So, what did you guys think? Do you agree with him? Do you agree with everything he has to say? Let me know in the comment section. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Until next time. Ciao, ciao.